Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my yearly goals video. I have done this for the last 2 years. I've really liked doing it. It's given me a sense of accountability and it's given me a lot of room to explore, my own faults as a person and why I don't get things done, but also setting me on track for getting things done. So that being said, I have a big list of goals for 2022. I have a lot I want to do. And I actually made this list back in like October, and I'm filming this at like the beginning of December, end of November. So basically I just want to film it so that I have it and I can start working on them. I know that's like cheating, but like who cares? I always say that these are not resolutions because I don't like look to specifically start them on January 1st. I just start them whenever, and you can always reset and restart on your goals, and some of them may change. Some of them may not be a goal by the end of the year, but I do quarterly updates with these every like third month. I will check in and tell you guys how I'm doing, if it's going good, if I've removed a goal for any reason, and I break them into categories. So I'm just going to get started because this is going to be a bit of a long video, I think, possibly. So let's start with book goals because we're in my book corner and my book goals are pretty easy to go through. They're pretty self-explanatory. So first and foremost, I always set a reading goal. Last year it was 70 books, which I blew past that. But this year I want to keep it realistic, but increase it. So last year it was 70. This year I want to read 85 books. Last year I read over 100 actually, and that was great, but also some of that time I wasn't working. So I want to be working obviously in 2020 the whole year instead of just seasonally. So I'm trying to be realistic with myself. And last year I started with audiobooks, which really helped me read more. So I want to give myself some leeway for that by bumping up by 15 instead of 10 like I've done previous years, but also being lenient with myself with how much my workload may be to how much time I'll have off. So 85 books, that's how many I want to read. My next goal is focus on buying sequels. I love buying books. I love having them tangibly. I love, being able to just like peruse through them and touch them and reorganize them whenever I want and just, have them. However, I have a ton of books that I have the first in series, but not the second in series. So I read the first one and then I don't get to the second one. And then I have to go back and reread the first one. And then by the time that I get to the second one, the fifth one is out. So I want to focus on, after I read the first in series, getting the second in the series and reading that. Whether it be through the library or, tangibly having it for myself. Because like The Inheritance Games, one of my favorite books, and I don't have the sequel as of yet. And I'm going to have to go back and reread this. So it just it helps with my reading goal, but I would rather move on to other books that I haven't read yet than having to keep backtracking on all of them. So I want to focus on buying sequels. The next one kind of ties into that. Using the library as much as possible. I'm trying to be more financially responsible, and I don't have infinite room on my shelves, unfortunately. We do not have the technology yet to just make expandable bookshelves that I can have forever and ever. So I want to try and use the library as much as possible. I started doing that at the end of last year, and it really helped me not buy books because there's some that I really thought I would like that I really ended up not liking. Or I liked them, but not enough to want to reread them over and over again. So I want to use the library to keep myself financially responsible, but also keep my library open because it is just a nice little treasure. Next, I want to unhaul books I won't reread. I am a perpetual pack rat. I hold on to things way longer than I should. I don't need to be holding on to them. I guess it's like me feeling bad that I spent the money on the book and then I'm not going to reread it. But I much rather get rid of a book that I felt neutral about for a book that I know I love and I'm going to read over and over and over again. So I definitely want to just be pretty critical with what I keep on my shelves, especially since I'm going to be buying sequels. I need the room for them, and especially if they're standalones, I don't feel bad about unhauling them if I didn't love them as much. And then my main book goal that ties into all of this is prioritize finishing series or catching up on series so that I'm up to date. So I just want to read through as many books as I have that are in my series that I've read the first one, and I want to get to the second, third, fourth, fifth, just finish them all out so that I am done with that particular collection, and then move on to the next world that I want to dive into. So moving on to lifestyle goals. So these are things that pertain to just me in general, but things that I want to change within my everyday life and lifestyle. So first and foremost, I want to learn/practice witchcraft more. I've learned a lot about witchcraft. I've studied a lot of things. I've researched things. I looked into things and things with astrology. And I'm not a religious person. I think there is some sort of higher power, but I don't know what it is. And I have a really hard time getting into like Christianity and other organized religions just because there's faults to all of them. Not all of them are good, not all of them are bad. But there's never been a one that I've, held on to other than like being spiritual and things like that. So I definitely want to lean into that. I have a book that I got all about like daily spells you can do or daily rituals that kind of correspond with different dates and things like that. So I want to dive into that just because I need some sort of faith, I feel like, and if that's just putting faith in the universe, so be it. But I'm also Irish, and my ancestors were most likely pagan, and I feel like that might be why I'm pulled to it. It got wiped out a lot when different people came into Ireland and kind of wiped out the pagan culture, and then it all became Christian, and a lot of Catholicism. So I want to kind of go back into that and just see if I connect with it. And if I don't, then I can always stop. But it's something that I want to do it respectfully and not just for fun. Prioritizing the gym. I know I put something about my fitness goals every single year, but this year I have gotten a lot of really good advice from people on Instagram, TikTok, like who are certified trainers, who their body and their style of training is what I'm looking for. So I want to get back into the gym. I feel so much better just every day if I go and lift, and that's my main goal. Is I want to be really strong. I want to look like an Amazon, even though I am only 5'4". I want to look like an Amazon. I want to be toned. I want to be buff, or even get into powerlifting and not necessarily have lean muscle, but be kind of bulky but super strong. So that is what I am looking for. I want to prioritize the gym and just feeling better. Is stick to my routines. This is something that I battle with so hard, and I don't know if I have undiagnosed ADHD or if it's the depression or what it is, but I have such a hard time of sticking to a routine. I have a hard time doing things consistently. Sometimes you probably notice it if you've been here on my YouTube, where I will post on certain days consistently and then all of a sudden I'll just kind of disappear. I need to get into routines of doing the same things with my skincare every single night to yield results, going to sleep at the same time to get better sleep to yield results. Like, just getting into those routines, I think it'll be healthier for me and a lot just easier on my system in general. Next, tracking my expenses closely. I have been doing that a little bit already, but I want to go even more in depth with tracking my expenses. So I'm going to create a spreadsheet that has categories of like food and drink, leisure activities, hobby stuff, YouTube expenses. Just basically anytime I spend money, I'm going to categorize it so I can see if there is somewhere that I am just spending way too much money and need to cut back, as opposed to what is coming in. And I think that will just set me up for a lot more financial responsibility because my student loans will be due soon. It keeps getting pushed back, but I just want to, not count on that money being there, always knowing that that money at the beginning of the month is going to come out. So I just want to track my expenses closely so that I don't end up in a financially stressful situation. I want to save more than I spend, which is also part of the spreadsheet thing. For every dollar that goes out, I want 2 of those dollars coming in. It's really easy to spend money and it's a lot harder to earn it. So I want to just make sure that I am saving for what I don't know. But if I want to buy something big, I want to be able to go do that and know that, okay, I'm buying this thing, but I've been saving, so it's okay. Same goal I do every year, use up the products I have. I'm continuously trying to minimize the amount of products I have, whether it's body sprays, body lotions, body wash, which was kind of my goal this year, and I did pretty good with that for 2021. But yeah, I want to continue using up the makeup I have. I want to continue to declutter, get rid of what I do and don't need. Just not buying as much and using up what I have. Going into that, I want to sell, declutter, donate, or trash often, which are going to be my 4 categories when I am going through clothes, going through makeup, going through books, going through whatever stuff I have. I live in an apartment. It's not super big. It's not very small either, but it's just a lot easier to live without a ton of extra clutter. Next thing, which is the biggest goal for me, is to finish one project at a time. I get so overwhelmed with how many ideas I have, especially for YouTube, that I often forget that I can only do one thing at a time. I try and plan 6 projects at a time, and then none of them end up getting done. I want to finish one project at a time. One series, one project, one thing at a time. So next is probably the hardest goals to meet, and that is my career goals, just because they are not 100% dependent on me. Everything else is pretty much dependent on me, but my career goals are not. So I tried to form some that are completely dependent on me that I can do to just better my portfolio, my career, and yeah, just things that there's one that obviously I can't control, other people are in control of, but my first one is building a personal website. I don't have a website, and that for a journalist is kind of a big deal, so I definitely want to try and figure out how I can do that, and potentially one that's free or that's really easy to update and very inexpensive, so that I can have a website that has my resume, my stuff I've done before, all of that stuff just kind of in one place. Going along with that, I want to create a formal portfolio that just has all my different articles in it, have them categorized, have them laid out, because portfolios are very important when you're trying to get into an industry. So I am just waiting to see how to figure that out. I got to do some research and put it all together, but I definitely want to do that. Next thing is work full time within an organization, whatever that may be. This is the goal that I have no control over. I cannot control who hires me or who interviews me. I don't care what the organization is at this point, if it's for a team, if it's for a website, if it's for, coverage of one specific thing. I mean, I want to mainly cover combat sports, wrestling, entertainment. Of course, I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Or baseball, of course, because baseball is always my number one. However, the other 2 I am very invested in and knowledgeable about, so I would like to dive into those as well if I can. Next thing is work on my novel. I have been writing a book since my junior year of college, and I haven't touched it in a while. And I love the concept I have for it. It is a YA mystery thriller, and basically Truly Devious made me want to write one, so I am hoping that I can work on it and potentially shop it to people. I don't know. It's so scary to even think about. But the 2022, I want to write it and at least get it to a point that I feel like I finished it, and then maybe, depending on how long that takes, shop it around. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Last set of goals are my YouTube goals. These are ones that are usually out of my hands. But, you know, I like to throw them in there. So number 1 is hit 500 subscribers on this channel. I didn't hit it last year, so it's rolling over to this year. Yeah, so 500 subscribers on this channel. I did have written down here, hit 500 subscribers on my ASMR channel that I started, and I already hit that. So, it actually surpassed it, so that's great. So we can check that one off the list already, which is awesome. But I want to post consistently on my ASMR channel. I want to do at least 1 video a week. And on this channel, I just want to get a consistent schedule. I don't know what days that will be yet. Again, that will depend on if I get employed and what my workload will look like. So the next 2 are series that I want to do. I want to do an Alice in Wonderland series. I have the Alice costume. I have ideas for the other costumes, and I want to kind of do it in the spring and make it this really elaborate project. So I need it to be during a time where I'm not working on Halloween and not working on other things for the channel. So I want to try and do that. And then I want to try and do a Freak Show series. Now, by the time you see this, that may already be up, but I wanted to put it on my goals just so I have it written down in case it gets pushed back from when I initially wrote this down. So I have one more goal, not YouTube related, but just in general. I want to learn to roller skate really bad, but I don't have roller skates yet. So I just put that out there. That's just like a hobby that I think I would enjoy, and it would be kind of a fun way of exercising. So yeah, I want roller skates, and I want to learn how to roller skate. So that's it. Those are all my goals for 2022. It's a lot, but I'm hoping I can complete, if I can complete even like half of this stuff, I would be so happy. If I can complete all of just the lifestyle goals, I would be happy. So hopefully I will do well. If you guys want to see me track my progress throughout the year, hit subscribe, and then you're contributing to helping me get to 500 subscribers, so you can feel special knowing you're helping me on my goal. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a productive beginning of the year, and I'll see you guys in the next one.